Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.
Yes, I do. I do invite you to join in helping the cause of our U.S. veterans. You know, people say all the time, we shouldn't have housing, we shouldn't have homeless veterans. And I agree. I totally agree. You're not going to hear any back talk from me when I hear you say we shouldn't have homeless veterans. My question is, though, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? You can say all you want to say. We shouldn't have homeless veterans. Ooh, when I hear people say that, I always wonder, what's your solution? You know, when I think of doing things and I haven't done it before, and it's something that I'm interested in doing, thanks for the hearts on TikTok, I try to find a solution. And I've become the one that people in this community of homeless veterans and veterans housing issues, I'm the one they email. I'm the one they call. I'm the one they send homeless veterans to. I'm the one the social workers call me and email me, and program managers call me and email me, and state representatives call me and email me, and leaders in the community call and email me. But I'm like, what I do is not a secret. And I don't have the capacity. I'm only one body of person, one person. So when you call and email me, I try to assist the best I can. And usually it works out that way if I'm not trying to figure out what it is you're asking me. So that happened today. I'm like, you know what, you go back and talk to your program manager. Y'all figure that out, because it's nonsense. Working in the community of homeless veterans, it takes ingenuity. You got to use your brains when you're working in the community with homeless veterans. You got to think about this part. We have a ton of benefits, a ton. We've got federal benefits. We've got, where's my state book? Well, we've got state, which is separate from federal, and then we have even more localized benefits. But how do we get our veterans who are in need of those benefits? How do we help them get there? Now, we know that because I just showed you the books where you can find your federal benefits. Go on va.gov and search, put in there benefits books and have them delivered to you. Go pick up one from the VA, the Vet Center, the CBOC. Go to an American Legion post VFW and see if they have them there. Go to your VA clinics. At least you'll have something that you can use to help that veteran you say to thank you for your service. Or we shouldn't have homeless veterans, and here's one standing next to you and you have no clue on what to do. I don't work at the VA. I'm not on the VA payroll. I was volunteering my services because they are amazing. And for more than 22 consecutive years, serving in that space, in that community of homeless veterans, I'm still known as the person to go to for resources. I kid you not. Resources. My name is Yvette Jones Swanson, and I am the Veterans Homeless Housing Advocate, Realtor, and Professional Services in the GovCon space professional. I've been working with homeless veterans for 22 plus consecutive years. I was at the VA as a volunteer. I go to the VA with my team and we do veterans housing and home buying workshops. Is this book right here? So go to my bio and buy this book. Been doing workshops at the VA, at the VA, at the vet centers, at the city colleges of Chicago, Cook County Corrections, Federal Bureau of Prisons, and a host of municipalities, and VFW posts and American Legion posts, just to name a few. And one thing is clear, and two things are certain. One thing is clear, that nobody knows how to house homeless veterans. And two things that are certain, people don't just retain information that they hear. And that's why I wrote this first book for my veterans when they came to the workshops, that they can take something away with them. So every time I would have a workshop, the books would be given away free to the veteran who comes to that workshop. And the reason being, the resources that are in the book, a couple of my showing agents, house masters, HWA, Home Warranties of America, Charles Cathy State Farm. These are all in this book, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Crosstown Legal and attorney Khadijah Hall. So these are two attorneys here. Kathleen Cunningham, who is in a closing right now with one of our former homeless veterans who's closing on his house as we speak. And we've got Rocket Mortgage over here. We've got Crosstown Mortgage over here. And we have Loan Depot over here. So this is the third edition Veterans Housing and Home Buying Workshop book. And the reason the veterans get this book for free, not only does it give them a pathway to home ownership, but it also is tangible. So if they forgot something, any of these professionals in this book that you just heard me read off, if they forget something, which 9 times out of 10 they're going to, so what do you do at that point? You just lost the veteran in conversation, and the conversation was over 15 days ago. So how in the world was he supposed to remember that? So this book is his reminder of everything that we talked about in that workshop. This is what every veteran who attended my workshops received. And they received this book for free because everybody who I just mentioned in this book paid to be in this book, which allowed me to buy enough books to give away to the veterans who came for the first time to receive this book. Any other veteran, you come 2 or 3 times, no, you can't have another book. I remember you. You think I have dementia or absent-minded, and you signed in my book right here too. You signed in. So no, you can't have another book. You want another book? Go to Amazon. Oh, that's the problem now. But anyway, they all received this free book. It's a toil to do this type of work, and nobody pays me. I don't get paid for coming on to talk to you every single day at 5:15 p.m. Central, Monday through Friday, or once a week. Nobody sends me a check for this. I come on to talk to you because it's important to me. It's important to me as a former. That's my picture up there for you all to see on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And for you guys over here on TikTok, that's me. I was young and in the military, coming home from the military, and didn't have a good life. Coming home to what? Public housing. I didn't want to leave the military at that young age to come home to no job, no degree, no income. Because once we leave the military, our job is over and we don't get that pay anymore. Great thing to do for veterans. Thank you so much. So when we leave the military, we don't get the pay anymore because we left our job, when we're discharged. Unless you're just discharged with a percentage, and hopefully is 100% service connected disabled pay, pension, not pension, but compensation, then you'll have enough money to pay for rent or even buy a house. But these veterans like myself who were discharged with no benefits, we're homeless. We have no services. We go to the VA and we get turned around because social workers just don't know how to handle it all. You have social workers who work in different departments. The social workers who work in homeless walk-in, they're equipped to know about HUD-VASH. They're equipped to know about some organizations in the community, but they're not going to be sitting there with every single homeless veteran that comes in and try to decide what services that they should refer them to, what organizations have money in their district, in their catchment area, and who received this $818 million, who received this $84 million. So social workers, I'll talk about this in a second for those of you who are new here. So social workers, if they're not versed on all of this, then they're just going to talk about what they talk about. And more than likely, that's HUD-VASH. Let me go down the checklist to see if you qualify for HUD-VASH. If you qualify for HUD-VASH, good. Then I'm going to send you over here to the next department. And now you receive your HUD-VASH voucher. That's another roadblock. We'll talk about that later. But if you don't qualify for HUD-VASH, then that social worker really doesn't know what to do with you. So now you have to be on your merry way. That's why I wrote this book. By the way, I have a whole book series. This is it right here. So anything you want to know about what I'm talking about is in one of my books, or 2 or 3. I consider this to be the next or the new encyclopedia of veterans housing, education, and resources. That's what these books are. Thank you so much thank you for the hearts. So this book I wrote for social workers, case managers, human care professionals, and first responders. Because as a former homeless female veteran, they let me walk out every door homeless again, back to my abuser and batterer. And that's something I want to talk to y'all about. I got a phone call today from a couple who saw me on a live on YouTube talking about my story as a former homeless female veteran in transitional housing. And the transitional housing I was in was at the YWCA right here in the Chicagoland area. It's a safe house for battered women. And I was a battered wife of the hands of my then serving ex-Marine husband. He's not ex-Marine, but he's my ex-husband. Okay. Oh, who eventually I had to go back to because I had to leave the transitional shelter because of some dangers that were posed to me at that time. But when I got back home to the abuser, no sooner as I get back home, I have a miscarriage due to another beating. And this is something that social workers, this book right here, let me just tell y'all about this book. It helps show social workers find resources in the community quickly. I incorporate and I teach AI, but when you're thinking about using a platform like that, you have to know what prompts to enter, what questions to ask, so that it can guide you to those resources. So that's this book. I do see a lot of stuff. Hey, Jacob, I'm good. I'm working, as you see. This book right here, Finding Home, how I got onto these platforms talking about what I do, because I never talked about what I do. I was at the VA. I was at the vet centers. I was at the city colleges. I was at the Cook County Corrections, Federal Bureau of Prisons, several municipalities. So I didn't have to come on here and talk to y'all. I was comfy cozy going around where I was going, housing homeless veterans, making a six-figure income doing that because nobody else was out here. When I taught my first class in this community, my realtor buddies were like, oh no, we're not doing that. So it was too much. This is a tough community, but it's a community that needs our help. Homeless veterans, and when you're talking about realtors, I wrote that book too, by the way, A Realtor Blueprint, The Veteran's Path to Home, Navigating the Journey from Homelessness to Home Ownership. This book teaches realtors how to do what I do. I'm a realtor, and I've been with the same real estate office for 14 years. I've been a realtor for 29 years, and I've been a veterans housing, homeless realtors for 22 plus consecutive years, except during the COVID, but they were still emailing me because guess what? Realtors were on the front line. We were called, we had to be there like first responders because we still had to move people. And these veterans, even though during COVID, they were homeless, they still had subsidies to pay the rent for wherever they moved to. So that social workers and case managers, human care professionals were still calling me because I maintained a list of available apartments, condos, and houses. Where my realtor buddies, they didn't know how to house the homeless veterans. So now this book teaches them how to do that. When you buy my book, you will see me on the back and you'll see a lot of my certifications. I'm certified with the federal government as a service disabled veteran-owned small business, veteran-owned small business, minority business enterprise, woman-owned small business, women business enterprise, African-American business enterprise. I mean, I've got 14 certifications, plus a master's degree. Plus I was an instructional designer and a corporate trainer and an instructor at 2 colleges. So this is not new to me. I'm just glad to be here to talk to you all. And the only reason I'm here publicly talking to you all is because of the new administration firing so many people and getting rid of a lot of us. And I was a volunteer going into the VA conducting these workshops for 14 years, 13 years. And I missed it a lot. Oh, let me show y'all some of the pictures. I really do. I missed this was one of the flyers, my comeback for 2024. And this is some of the workshops. This workshop here, these are at different vet centers in Chicago. This one right here is at the Jesse Brown VA CRRC. So these over here were at the city colleges. I couldn't take any pictures at the Cook County Corrections or Federal Bureau of Prisons. Y'all know we can't do that. This is that city colleges right here. And this is that the vet center, Forest Park Vet Center, where I was there for 13 years. Yeah. And then this is my investing group right here. And we are nationwide. So I'm coming back, and I'm not coming back. I'm coming out. Put it that way. All right, here's some more workshops. And this is in this book. This book right here is a roadmap. It's the exact steps that I go through to conduct a workshop at the VA, at the vet centers, any of my workshops. So this is that book for any realtors or any loan officers or anyone who wants to put on workshops in your community. I suggest getting this book right here, because this tells you everything you need step by step, and let your professionals do what your professionals do. I'm a realtor, and people will ask me, well, what about this? No, let me tell you who my loan officers are, and you pick one. Nope, I'll tell you who the attorney is, and you talk to the attorney. You know, we stay in our lane. I can't talk to you about your legal issues. I'm not an attorney. My license that's hanging with the state is a realtor and a real estate instructor. So,
Justin Smith, productive audio.
We just closed. That's why he's calling me. So I'm going to send him the instructions on going inside the house, because I've already mentioned that I won't be there because I'm here, and we've been to the house and he knows exactly what to do. So I'm just very proud of him. Let me play his video so y'all can see exactly who I am speaking of. Here he is. Oh. So Justin, I'm going to ask you another question, because we got here on the basis of you being a homeless Air Force veteran with the pre-approval.
Yes.
And that's, and I did create a video, and I'll put the video out on social media, and it's a beautifully done video, and it's asking the question, how can veterans get to a point where they can get pre-approved to buy a house, but they're homeless? How did that happen? Oh, so that was cut off. Let me see if the next video. But anyway, y'all can also go back to the video. All of my videos, they're stored on YouTube. Right. Read the books. This is the encyclopedia for the veteran community, and I'm not done. Because in 22 years, Justin, I went from the military, victim of military sexual trauma, came home at a very young age with no benefits at all. I didn't even have medical. I had nothing. Tried working 2 little jobs, going to school, married to a Marine, in a domestic violent marriage. So now I'm running away for my safety, never having any place to go to the VA, and they're like, well, we can't help you. Back and forth. So now it looks like I'm the problem. I'm the cycle. I keep going back. Why do you keep going back? First of all, I had no money, because the 2 little jobs didn't pay rent anywhere. It was just like, 3 hours here before school and 3 hours after school. I'm trying to get my education so that I can get a professional job and finally have some money to leave. So from 87 to 93, back and forth. Okay, I wanted y'all to see Justin's story. I didn't want y'all to have to hear mine again. But this was Justin's original story when he first got to me.
You need to watch this if you've ever wondered why a veteran with great credit and a pre-approval can still be homeless. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, and I work every day to change that. Here's what's really going on. I'm working with an Air Force veteran. He served our country. He has steady income. He has excellent credit. He is pre-approved, but still, he's homeless. We've seen countless properties, submitted offers, but every time competition is fierce. Now we're in a highest and best bidding war for a move-in ready home. The truth, we need more housing for our homeless veterans, apartments, condos, new builds, transitional homes. If you want to help or just understand more, check out my U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resources book series. Together we can make a difference. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Realtor and CEO of VetMentors. Thank you for caring. I'm a realtor with Real People Realty and CEO of VetMentors.
Good. So anyway, so what happened with Justin, and we just closed today, by the way, he was a homeless veteran and knew he wanted to buy, but because, that stigma, the word homeless, and I'm always going to use it, they want to change the word to say unhoused. What the heck is that? What's that? No, make it real, make it plain. You're homeless. What's unhoused? That sounds like a fluffy muffin. Homeless is not fluffy at all. So you're homeless, you're homeless. And he was able, he knew he could get approved, but nobody wanted to talk to him because of that stigma. And that's what happens with a lot of our veterans because of that stigma. And also, there are so many roadblocks and red tape that they can't get housed. Well, let me tell y'all what I worked on today, and then I'm going to skedaddle because I'm going to talk to Justin and get ready because my kids are performing live at Buddy Guys tonight. The band is A Patch of Blues, so please follow them on Instagram, A Patch of Blues. And they also have a fan book on Amazon. So today, where are those letters? Oh, I had to jump into my advocacy role again. And y'all know I don't get paid for being an advocate, but that's my number one job. I had to jump into position. So I've been working with this veteran. And I asked him today, I said, how did we meet? Initially, did I house you? He said, no, you were trying to years ago, but I got sick. I kept going back and forth to the hospital. I'm like, okay, I understand now. But he is housed and he's having so many difficulties living where he's living because now he's handicapped. He's a senior, handicapped, disabled veteran. So every time he calls, I send out the alarm. Hey, Facebook fam. Hey, military fam. We need some help over here for this senior veteran who needs some stuff. He needs a bed. He wants a bike because his hands, he can still open one hand, but this hand is almost closed shut. But he can still ride his bike. And that was his transportation until somebody stole it. He wants a recliner. Why not? I want a recliner, but why not have him a recliner? He said to me today that his Social Security check has been delayed for 90 days. Who is his advocate? He told me several things. So he couldn't pay his portion. He pays 30% for the past months that he only received half of his Social Security check. I think he got half or whole. No, he didn't get whole. He got half or none. I think he got half. So, but anyway, all of these letters had to, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Your social worker at the VA knows all about this. Yes. Okay. That's confirmed. So you knew about this, you know what's going on with him, and it's still going on. Why is that? With all the resources that we have in our communities. Well, Yvette, we didn't get, we would what? So now my advocacy had to come on. I don't get paid for this. So I want to thank you all for supporting the cause by buying my publications and by learning to do what I do. If you are at all interested in advocating for our veterans in our community. So not only did my advocacy hat come on, but I also sent a real nice email to the team, to the manager on the floor over the HUD-VASH, to his social worker, to one of the agencies that is on this list. This list has 235 organizations across the country to help veterans who are homeless or at risk of being homeless. This list comprises of $818 million. $818 million. So all I have to do is open up the pages and look down to see Illinois, right? To see Illinois, to look to see what agencies receive this money. So I did that today. And I added all of these agencies in the letter that I sent to the director over the program, his social worker, and the agencies, because y'all got the money. So I am sending this letter as an emergency advocacy on his part, because he can't do this. He doesn't know all of these agencies. He doesn't know that Thresholds received over $2 million. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know the services that Thresholds can offer him, because his social worker never reached out to say, hey, I'm going to contact Thresholds to find out what we can collaborate and do on your behalf. Nobody did that. Then I went down the list again and saw Heartland Human Care Services. They received over $4 million. And this money is to do certain things in our community. It is to help with housing and housing counseling, health care, financial planning services, child care, legal assistance, and transportation. But right on top, it's housing and housing counseling. This is what he needs. He also needs health care. He needs a home care provider to come into his apartment to help him. He can't open cans. He can't open bottles. He's trying to train his left hand right now because he's going to have a surgery in a couple of weeks to try to open his right hand. Oh my God, I can't make this up even if I wanted to. This is what happens to our veterans in the community. Who's really advocating for them? If you don't know how to advocate and force these things to happen, then your questions, your responses, the words that come out of your mouth, you're not saying anything. Because if you really want to help these veterans in the condition, instead of you saying thank you for your service, which we really, some of us really don't give a damn about you saying that, because those words fall flat. When we have homeless veterans and veterans at risk, disabled veterans, senior veterans, the LGBTQ plus community of veterans. Thank you for that over here on TikTok. You know, all of our disabled veterans, we have $900 million for fiscal year 2026. This one, United States Department of Veteran Affairs announced Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, it will distribute $84 million in grants to 176 organizations tackling veteran homelessness across the United States. So what does this mean to you? If you don't know how to access this money to help these homeless and at risk of being homeless veterans access the resources they need to get them better care, what are you doing? I'm not answering your questions about what should the community do, what should I do, what should realtors do, what should you do? You got to learn. I took off time and wrote these publications after 22 years of working in the field of housing and advocating for homeless veterans first. Veterans of at risk of being homeless second. Now, who are these veterans who are homeless? Women with children, veteran men with children, senior veterans. Our young veterans are coming home to nothing, just like I did when I was 19, to nothing. So how do you help those veterans in your community? You got to learn. Go to my bio and buy some books, because any question that I'm getting ready to read when I put my glasses on, I'm going to direct you right back to my bio. Read the titles, because all the titles say exactly what's in the book. This title here, a guide to veteran shared living models, that's the title of this book. You say that I want to do veteran shared living housing, that's this book. You go get this book and that's what you learn. You say, Yvette, I'm a nurse. I got my CNA. I got my RN. Okay, good. I'm so happy for you. You know the sciences. Hallelujah. Get this book, Veteran Care, Entrepreneurship. You want to do a licensed care home in your house? Get this book. You are a realtor, and you say that all these years you've been making money. What's the word people use? I forgot the word people use about keeping secrets. Well, let me tell you something. For 22 years, right, housing homeless veterans, I couldn't talk enough. I couldn't tell enough people at the same time about what I do. So when I wrote a class that was approved by the IDFPR, and I taught the class for almost 3 years to realtors, and they're like, Yvette, what if? I'm like, what if what? A veteran is just another person, but these people have resources that we can use to pay our rent. So the same question you're asking me about what if can happen with the non-veteran who has no benefits. They got a job and they're responsible for paying their own rent. So don't ask me what if this veteran does this in our unit. What if a regular renter does that in your unit? What would you do? Well, in this case, you don't have to go too far, because all of these veterans who have the HUD-VASH voucher, who have resources through the $900 million for housing, they have a social worker, they have a case manager. So if anything happens while they are living within your dwelling, then you just pick up the phone. That's it. Make a phone call. Make them do what they're supposed to do. I'm your partner in this, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to pay me for that housing, or you're going to pay me for that consultation. So I'm your partner in this. I'm the one who told you about it. CC me in that email so I can check them too, because they're supposed to be they're not supposed to ignore, put it that way. And they're supposed to know, but if they don't know, that's understandable, because they all don't know. They need this book right here for social workers, case managers, human care professionals, and first responders. This book teaches them how to go to the community and find those agencies that are receiving that $990 million, in addition to philanthropists, and corporations. Do you know there's so much? I did a book just for Chicago veterans alone. I get so many inquiries from homeless veterans and from agencies, social workers, prime example, just yesterday, I got an email from a social worker down at one of the hospitals to tell me that the veteran was moving somewhere else and he needed resources. That's how she said. That's all she said to me. I'm like, okay, first of all, you want me to think through my telepathic abilities what you want me to know based on what the veteran is telling you. I can't do that. And I'm not even going to try. If you can't give me all the details, then I throw my hands up. I'm not trying to think for you. She comes back to say, oh God, Jesus. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to figure it out. Because I have another coach who's taken me down where I know how to come to the program manager, whoever I need to send that what is it called? Proposal to. Because you're not going to keep calling me. I know about your homeless veterans that are on your caseload. I know, because everybody has them. The education is needed right now. I've provided the education. So for those of you who are really interested, go to my bio and buy yourself some education. Oh, I didn't even tell y'all everything else I did today. My bad. My bad. Okay, so these are the congressional letters right here, right? The first one is going to Representative Nicholas K. Smith, because 9 times out of 10, they don't know what the real deal Holyfield of situations and issues are in our veterans homeless community. They don't know. They don't work and sit next to me at the desk over from me. Senator Bill Cunningham. And these are the representatives who are over the district where this one veteran resides. Representative Nicholas K. Smith. Oh, wait a minute. He has 2 offices. The Honorable Brandon Johnson, Mayor, Office of the Mayor, and the Honorable Congressman Danny K. Davis, which I know he's leaving, and several people are looking at his seat, but his office still got the letter. He'll be getting the letter today. So that's part of the advocacy free work. So please support my mission, which is also your mission. If you ever said, Yvette, or to yourself or to anybody else, we shouldn't have homeless veterans, well, get a book. Read and learn. Because I don't practice in that. So we talked about the advocacy. All right, let me check that off. Congressional letters, yeah. And then my master classes. Oh my God. Oh, so I have a new coach and I have to create 2 master classes. Now, mind you, I was a college instructor for various years. I was a corporate trainer for a long time. So I'm not opposed. Well, not that's not a good word. I can stand up in front of an audience. I can put together classes for curriculum in a classroom and write books about it too. Now, this master class, that hit different. I have so much respect now for the really good master classes that I've been in before, because I've been in some master classes. They say they were master class. I'm like, you know what? Take this back to the whole drawing board and begin again. But it's all a learning. It's all a learning. I'm going to come over here and read some stuff too. It's all in learning. So this master class, the first one I'm putting together is for investors for HUD VASH only. It's too complicated. This master class would be 2 hours long, and I'm only doing 1 hour master classes because each class is accompanied by a book. You're not leaving my master class without a book. So my master class for investors, you all will have that HUD VASH book. Oh God, that's another thing I got to put on my plate. The realtors already have a master class book, so that's going to be a little simpler. But the book for the investors learning HUD VASH and learning why you should work with my program nationwide in approving homeless veterans who have HUD VASH and other SSVF funding because they've already been vetted through 2 federal government agencies. So now the realtors are saying, oh, well, we need a credit check. We need an employment verification. You know, I'm like, I get that, but y'all not helping. Y'all not helping at all. And for these investors who don't know, or you want your cash flow. Well, I got that for you. And I'm hoping and praying these realtors come through because I am going to have the master class for them so they can help you better in the community. As a realtor, we get paid to move people. That's what we do. As a realtor, we get paid to lease, because over 5,000 leases that I've ever done in my pen or in my office with the staff that I managed, we got a commission. So I'm not asking anybody to do this for free when the government is waving $900 million in your faces and HUD VASH vouchers in your faces. That's the golden ticket. That's what we always call it. So nobody's asking anybody to do this for free. Only thing you need to do is learn how to do it. And how do you do that? Buy a book, read a book, and educate yourself. So I'm going to go down the line again. Did I talk about everything? One moment, please. Okay, no, I didn't. Those are the master classes. Okay, so I'm going to put a check mark by that. Then, okay, I don't have my glasses. Partnerships, yes, partnerships. National strategic partnerships. So I am a realtor, and you know, a lot of people, they want their houses sold or rented, and I have a few agents that I work with, and they conduct those operations. So I'll let them know, okay, we got a rental coming up, we got a buyer, we have a sale coming up, we have something coming up, and you're going to do it. So it's all passed along. They'll tell me, okay, Vet, they like this. All right, so let's go ahead and go through the contract and make sure it's the right offer for them. They've got the paperwork to move. They got their Section 8 voucher in hand. It's an email it to me so we can create everything in dot loop, and we have all the paperwork that we need, all the disclosures, everything. But I don't show. So don't call me talking about, Yvette, I want to buy. You can do that, but you just know you're going to be working with another agent, not me. I'm more working with educational and contracting and consulting. Okay, thank you for that. My awards are displayed always. I'm going to be on another program where I was the only one being interviewed for about 45 minutes. I felt some type of way talking about veterans, homeless, housing, advocacy, and the work that I do in educating the community. Did I tell y'all? I know some of y'all are new. Where is it? Oh, here it is. And then I'm going to go. I think this is the last thing. I was in Woman's World magazine. Thank you, Woman's World, for the second time. This is the second time they did an article on my advocacy and real estate work in the homeless veterans community. I'm on page 52. On the front of this magazine is Gloria Estefan. Yay. And they also shouted me out, Homes for Heroes, Meet the woman finding housing for heroes. Yeah, so, and this is the page that I'm on, page 52. This veteran right here is also in this book right here, okay? And he's in this book because he was a homeless senior veteran. A homeless senior veteran. And he's standing here because he bought a house. Yeah, I sold him a house. That book, that story is in this book. So you want to hear the story, you can go buy the book. You want to read the story, go buy the book. That's him right here. Mr. Baldwin. He's the second most senior veteran buyer to date. So with that said, I'm going to respect everybody's time and hop off. I got to answer Justin's call. That's why I got to go. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Stop keeping secrets. I don't have any more secrets. They're all in the books now. What book to buy for HUD Vash voucher? What? Okay, I don't even understand that question. I know what you're saying, but if you're a realtor, you need to understand that. Send me an email so we can discuss that. I want to thank y'all for being here. Oh, over here, congratulations. What book? Everybody's asking what book to buy for HUD Vash. That's going to be in my master class for investors, and then you'll have the book. So let me finish that master class, and then y'all have the book. So that book is not ready because the class is not ready. But what you can do is buy another book because you're going to need that book too. One book. Let me tell y'all something. Remember the Encyclopedia Britannica? It wasn't just one book. You had books A and B, B and C and D, E and F. That's how these books are. So you're not going to learn everything you need to know in one book. You think you're just going to learn about HUD Vash. There's so many things that if you've never worked with a veteran before, you're going to need to know some things. If you have an apartment, condo, or house that you want to rent, trust and believe the veteran is going to need additional resources. So get this book first, Finding Home. Those additional resources could be, they might want to eventually buy a house. So they're going to need credit restoration. Find out about the person you're moving, not just like my partner always says, want to do a money grab. This is about elevating people's lives, not just getting a book, quick read, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to make my money. No, this is changing lives, and not just from one aspect. If it wasn't for the people in my life to help change my life, to be here to talk to you about changing lives, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. A lot of my investors, when they house veterans, gatekeeping. Thank you. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. When they house veterans, they house veterans. That's pretty much it. That was back in the day. I absolutely love this. This is what I want to incorporate into my housing program for veterans. Excellent. Go to the bio and get the whole library because you would love it. My books to me are like my babies. It's like popcorn. I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. Hey, thank y'all. Only God led me here. You know, a lot of people say that. I'm for real. God led me here too. I was a homeless female veteran of domestic abuse. And every walk of life that happened to me is the reason I'm here right now. I never shared my stories out like this publicly until the VA shut down. Not just the shutdown, but everybody was fired. I'm like, oh, I gotta go. I never came on to talk about what I do for homeless veterans. I've been doing this for 22 years. I get awards from, oh, here, let me show y'all this. This is a proclamation from the senator I got this from the Senator for Women's Veteran Day 2022. And then the article of me in Woman's World magazine, an award from the Main Street Organization of Realtors, the President's Award. And then IDVA, that's the Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs, 25 women leaders in 2025. That's my award. And another award for women of distinction by the Omega Psi Phi Chi Lambda chapter right here in Chicago. And this is just a few awards. I can't bring everything up. And this is just a few from this year. Imagine I've been boots on the ground for more than 22 years. And recognized. Go watch my interview on WGN Channel 9, on VON, some of those those old recordings, Woman's World magazine, News Nation. I'm not new to this. I'm just new to being on the screen here with you all. So please support the mission and learn what to do in the community so that our veterans can have more voices and more advocacies for them, because the government is doing what they're supposed to do. The government has put out all of the, hey, honey, you want to say hello to the people?
Hello.
They can't see you.
Right.
I'm on live.
Oh, okay. Justin needs the lockbox. I'm gonna get the key to the house.
Okay, well, go to your
Where is that?
no. Go and like you're scheduling him an appointment, and open it up like you're scheduling, and then it'll give you the lockbox code. So back to it. The government is doing its part. $900,000 in a little over 400 organizations nationwide. $900,000. I don't have to get off the phone now because my husband is also an agent. And he's going to get just in the code so he can get into his house. So you got it for him? Okay, he's going to get it. So when you tell veterans to go to the VA, go to the VA. Go to the Adventure Show. Love the focus. I know, right? That's all I talk about is homeless veterans. Go to the VA and do what? Go to the VA and let them turn you right back around. Such an inspiring mission. How can realtors get involved more directly? Get the book and read the whole book. That's the veterans housing. No, it's the realtors book. And Lisa Sweeney. Wow. Good stuff. So all of these are compliments. Thank you very much. I absolutely love this. This is okay. Great. Only God let me. Thank you. Does the government shut down? No, it does not. No. One of my investors contacted me today. And he said that some of his rents were being reduced in the opportunity areas. Oh, man. Oh, do I want? No, forget it. And in those opportunity areas, the rents are 150% more than fair market. When the department first started contracting with HUD, their percentage was 300% over fair market rent. And then there, I remember like it was yesterday, there was a real big party at the Blue. It's the community down Michigan Avenue. Then you got to go down, and all the buildings you look up, it's like a blue wave of river. And somebody had a huge party in one of those condo buildings. And they were like, how did these wretched people get up in here? And where are these? They don't look like, the community. And they had this huge swimming pool party. And it was a huge newspaper and media coverage about it. And they were scrutinized for paying so much rent for Section 8 voucher holders. So they would be able to afford a $4,500 rent on like 2 or 3 bedrooms. So now they can go anywhere they want to go. And this time they ran amok. And that percentage almost immediately reduced from 300% to 150% over fair market rent value. I did get several of my former homeless veterans into that program, and that's called the mobility program for the opportunity areas like downtown Chicago. And this is one of my veterans who I moved downtown Chicago. He's in this book for social workers, case managers, human care professionals, because he slept in a U-Haul facility for 9 months. Oh, it's in here. Her story is in here too. This is the veteran right here, and we're standing on his balcony of the downtown condo. This is his social worker's letter right here, okay? So when you get this book, you can read about the veteran himself, and you can read the social worker's letter as to his story and how he was in a U-Haul facility with a HUD-VASH voucher that paid his rents in this condo where I moved him downtown for $3,000. And my commission as a realtor was $3,000. So realtors ask me, even how do you get paid when you house homeless veterans? Well, I create a transaction and I send an invoice. That was my answer, because talking about it and trying to give you the step by step blueprint, just talking, it wasn't enough. So now you want to learn to do what I do, go buy the book and read the book. I want to thank you all once again for being here. And if you have not clicked to like, to share, and to follow, please do so at this time over on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Over on TikTok, my link to all of my publications are in my bio. And also on YouTube, all of my publications are in my bio. On LinkedIn and Facebook, all the links to my publications are in the description. I want to thank you all for watching once again. My name is Yvette Jones Swanson. I am the National Veterans Homeless Housing Realtor. Wait, let me clear my throat because I don't want to say realtor first. Anyway, the National Veterans Homeless Housing Advocate, Realtor, and Professional GovCon. That's it. Any questions, comments, or concerns before I sign off? So I still got to work on my masterclass. I'm so glad. You know what? And it just dawned on me today. I'm like, why am I pulling my hair out trying to work on this masterclass all by myself? I reached out to one of my investors today. I said, hey, Jim, all these niceties. Yeah, that's good. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Because he was one of my investors who was real hesitant. He said no to me. And I'm like, oh, how could you say no? And you have all of these buildings. I looked you up. You have all of these properties under your company, LLC. And you said no. How can you not want to house homeless veterans and get guaranteed rent? That sounds ridiculous to me. So I said, well, if I didn't tell him that, but in other words, I did. So I told him, I said, if you ever change your mind, don't hesitate to call me. And he eventually called me, and I'm like, okay, cool. I have a meeting in Chicago in Hyde Park, and you can meet me there at this time. This is our meeting. I have another meeting like right after you. So I'm just going to meet with both of you investors, one at a time, separately, at your time and then at his time. So we're sitting down at the table, and we're just, I'm giving him the spiel of what's in my master class that's coming up. And he's like, okay. And I'm showing him different paperwork. That's it. Yes, honey.
My account is locked out. I didn't pay my dues, so I can't get in there.
Oh,
So you
get off my live.
You gotta contact him. And get
I don't have to call him. I got it right here. Hold on a second. One moment. I got it right here. I anticipated that happening. Why did he send me an upside down? What did he send me? All right, I just sent it to him.
You sent it to him?
I did. Pull the door, please. Thank you. I forgot what I was talking about. I really did. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, anyway. Thank y'all for being here once again. I feel really comfortable talking about these things and sharing now, whereas before, really, because there were so many homeless veterans in our community, I really didn't think people cared. How could you care and we still have all of these homeless veterans? Nobody's doing anything about it. And then when I would say something about it, they're like, who does that? Who house homeless veterans? How do you do that? You see all of these different complexes coming up, all these different tiny home places being built, all of these big all of these grander things. But what we could do as a community, as individuals who are really interested in housing this community, it's the simple things, it's the little things. Learning how to locate their resources. Let me tell y'all about some resources in this book for Las Vegas. I'm in Chicago, but I sent resources to Las Vegas. I sent resources to Hawaii. She contacted me today. I got to go back and read that. So Las Vegas, there was a young gentleman, right? He had a 2-year-old daughter, and he was a homeless veteran. So now, what do you do with that? You don't have enough money to pay your rent, and you're homeless with a 2-year-old daughter. But all of these resources had all the money to pay for him to rent somewhere. And he found a resource on this list that housed him. That's what this book teaches you how to do. Find resources in your community quickly. All right. So go to my bio and do what you need to do. I'm going to wrap up and get ready for some live blues tonight. This is my library right here. And this is my daily notes. This book is coming out. Ooh, that's my whole, I went to somebody's event. So this is the clean one. I've been writing in this one. Oh, you know what? I never showed anybody this. I keep showing this award right here. This award right here. Well, it's in this book right here. And that's me. Right here in this book. So this is the 25 women veteran leaders of 2025. award ceremony at Malcolm X College. This was on March 31st, 2025. So, yep, that was me too. That was another award. Awards. I appreciate them, but what I would like most is for people to actually do the work. Do the work. Get the books and do the work. That's what I can tell you. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate you. Let me go ahead and play this outro. The investor who you met with. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Thank you for that. It's a good story too. So the investor who I met with, his name is Jim. He's in this book too. Hold on. Wait a minute. He is in this book right here. His letter. Okay, that's his letter to me right here. And back in 2012, But in the letter he writes, he goes back to 2010 when he eventually said yes to me. And when he said yes to me, he gave us the authorization to rent any and all of his 400 units. So that's that letter. So anyway, so we're sitting down in this restaurant in Hyde Park. The restaurant was called, I forgot, but they had some really, really good fried green tomatoes. And I got some fried green tomatoes downstairs, but they're not fried yet. So they're just green. But anyway, we're sitting down and I had his back turned. This is very strategic now. I had his back turned to the window. I could see the back window and the big building behind that window, but he couldn't. He saw what was behind me, which was whatever. I didn't really care about that. But then we could both see the front door. So we're talking, I'm showing him different, my whole list of units. It was like 7-8 pages because I would always have anywhere from 500 to maybe 1,200 units. All of the veterans who came to my office were housed, all of them. So he was very impressed with that. He saw the numbers, he saw the rent amounts, he saw all of that. So then he said, okay, whatever. I don't think he was really sold at the time. But then my second investor came through the door right on time. Because I didn't space 1 hour here, 1 hour there. No. You give me about 20 minutes to talk to Jim. And then I'm scheduling that next appointment. And we all gonna be together. Because the appointment with the second gentleman and I only had an exchange. I was bringing him all of his leases and he was bringing me all the checks. So now Jim is sitting there and Mr. Anahosa comes in. And I said, hey, Mr. Anahosa, come on over here and join us. I said, I told you, Mr. Williams, this is Mr. Anahosa. Mr. Anahosa is one of my esteemed investors who I do business with. And I just want to show you, turn around for a second, Jim. Just turn your whole body around and look out the window behind you. That's one of Mr. Anahosa's properties. And we were down in Hyde Park. And the building that he was looking at was next door to the movie theater. And it's a huge building right there on Harper Court. And Jim looked like, yeah. And then I had to open my briefcase that one of my sisters gave me. It was so cute. Opened my briefcase and pulled out a stack of leases. And he gave me a fat envelope of checks. And Jim was like, I think I'm ready. I'm ready. Well, what I need to do, what do I need to sign? Because that property that Mr. Anahosa owned, it's in the Hyde Park area, but a lot of college students would rent. And he just got tired of a lot of college students being up in that building. And then in the summertime, they all go home. And now the building is almost empty. So he was like, okay, we gonna take some veterans up in here. And they kept the building, cash flowing when the college students were gone. And eventually he's like, look, I don't care about them anymore. I want all the veterans. So That's what I've been doing. I didn't have to come on here live to tell y'all nothing. I had my little cushy life. So as a realtor, that's what you can do too. And if you are an investor, I suggest you get this book so you'll know how to train your realtor. Who is your preferred realtor? You get this book and you train your preferred realtor. So that's it. I'm getting ready to go try on some outfits because I want to look cute tonight. Thank y'all for being here. Hello, I'm just joining. Do you do ILF for veteran group homes? Okay, ILF is the Forstrom's model that they have trademarked. So I don't use ILF. My book, hold on, my book is where you can learn everything I teach you to do. This is the Guide to Veteran Shared Living Models. So go to my bio and get this book. All right. Okay. All right. I think I'm done over here on, man, we have a whole new wave of people on YouTube. All right. Amen, somebody. Yeah. So go ahead and go to my bio and get this book. If you are in the Atlanta area, or, I'll teach you how to use AI in this book too, so you can swap out Atlanta, Georgia for your city, your state. This is a licensed home. But this can be a licensed group home as well. It just depends on how you set it up. Have fun. I'm going to take some pictures. You already know. All right, let me go. I'm staying on YouTube, on TikTok though, so don't go. But let me just play y'all this. Flip the camera. Play y'all this.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.